a Donald Trump presidency, we will finally evict all of these illegal aliens that are coming here and stealing jobs from Americans. If you break into my house, should I just accept you because you washed my dishes and made my beds? I say no. I say you need to go back and come back in the right way.
So is that what the Indians should have told white Americans?
Absolutely. Ask Cochise if border control is important.
Because the original illegal alien are European white folk in America.
Agreed.
And so should the Indians stand up today and say deport all white folks back to Europe?
Well, should we learn something from their mistake? Because we are here now.
Or should you learn something from their compassion to give other people an opportunity like was given to you and your ancestors? Learn from their compassion. That's what you should learn from.
I say learn from their mistakes. Ask Geronimo if taking care of your borders is important. We need to do that now.
And I agree with Cochise, Geronimo, and Sitting Bull. Letting in the white man was the worst mistake that the Indians ever could have made. I agree with you. That was one of the greatest mistakes. Even right there in South Africa, they got a similar problem.
She was talking shit about Mexicans, and he got pissed off.
Governor Abbott's desk and has been signed by Governor Abbott. Basically, the anti-sanctuary city bill has been passed and is now law. And what that bill says is that if local law enforcement or state police view a criminal activity afoot, they make a stop on that state crime, and then they can inquire into the status of an individual's residence. Are they a lawful U.S. citizen? Are they here with a green card? Are they a permanent resident alien? Or are they here illegally without documentation? And if they are here illegally without that documentation, then the feds can get involved and then they can take it from there. I think this is a fantastic law. It is time to start enforcing the laws that are on the books instead of the state and local officials legislating from their own little tiny offices.
It's an awful law because it's nothing more than a legal way for law enforcement to racially profile Mexicans and Hispanics. This law was written into existence by Governor Abbott to specifically go after a said group of demographics here in the state of Texas. Secondly, it is awful that we want to call them illegal immigrants to the point to where if a cop does not do his job according to this law, he can be charged and arrested, and the cities can be given a $25,000 fine per day. Well, we'll put a cop in jail for not asking somebody's immigrant status, but we won't put cops in jail for shooting and killing unarmed black people.
That's not true, and that's way too far of a step. Murder is against the law.
But it's not against the law when you kill black people and you're a cop. See, the problem in America and this state is...
What about the Dallas case where that cop was just charged with murder?
Because there was video to show he was absolutely lying.
You can't make these broad statements. It's just
because
simply not true.
often there's video, ma'am, where we are killed by cops and nobody ever goes to jail. Ask Eric Garner's family that. Ask the family right there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Brother Alton Sterling's family.
But your
they're not
statement
getting
is not
justice.
correct,
Video don't mean nothing for us. But let's get back to the immigrants. I would say to the Hispanic and Mexican community, what you got to do now, hook up with the black community and unite in political power, because if Mexicans and black people unite in Texas, we can control the governor, we can control the lieutenant governor, and we can control politics in Texas, period. I'm saying to the Latino brothers and sisters, don't fight them by yourself. If you hook up with black people and we unite, I'm telling you, we can run Texas and then pass laws to deal with those who hate us.
You're advocating for criminal activity, Quanell. These people are not here lawfully. They need to do what our ancestors did, what many Mexicans have done.
No, wait a minute.
Don't interrupt me.
Your ancestors came here illegally. Wasn't nothing legal about your ancestors. They came illegally and they murdered, they raped, they pillaged a whole race of people. This country, Texas, Arizona, and California, belongs to Mexicans.
Quanell, get back
it was stole from them.
You tell me to get back to the point.
They came here illegally.
You're not being fair to me here. You say stay on topic. I say, okay, we'll stay on topic. And then as soon as we start talking about illegal immigration, you go back to the black issue. Let's stay on topic.
Your ancestors are the master illegal immigrants.
Give me the opportunity to respond in that, you know what? We're all Americans here. And if you are here legally, absolutely, then we need to come together and we need to pass good laws for enforcing the law.
Well, perhaps the Native Americans should have passed laws against your ancestors.
Accountability is something pan people really lack when it comes to talking about the past or really taking in the things their ancestors did. Because tell me why this man is talking about, oh, you come into my house and then you should not give me orders in my house. You guys in history, even today, you go in people's countries, you do the most atrocious things, and you claim those lands on your own, taking away lives of people, just like you did in history. And now, people are coming into the lands that you actually came as immigrants as well, and you are offended. You are pissed. Oh, we need to learn from, the past mistakes that these people did because we are here now. You're here now on whose land? On whose land are you now giving orders on? This is crazy that a lot of Pan people, and I don't want to blame them all, because even when it comes to as African people, we were known there when things happened. But you can't tell me that we have to accept whatever that is thrown into our faces. We have to accept whatever horrible things that the West does to us in our countries. And you guys just have to be there in your freedom and enjoy all the fruits of whatever that even these people that come as immigrants in your country do for your countries. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, these people don't have the capacity to build their countries. What made me laugh in the conversations that this man was having is the lady that brought up about let's learn from our ancestors and things like that, just like our ancestors, blah, blah, blah. And this man was bringing out the receipts on how your ancestors actually raped, your ancestors took lives of people, your ancestors stole. Then she wanted to go back to the conversation of immigrants when she's the one that brought in that thing or topic about ancestors. The thing is, when it gets hot and they have to take accountability in their history, and they know that you're going to say things that are not so good because of their ancestors' actions, they tend to want to change the subject and say, oh, no, but it was long time ago. It wasn't long time ago when you were giving it as an example that you should learn from your ancestors. But when receipts are being pulled out and you actually have to look into your history as a permanent person, then you need to shut it down. Then you want to cut it down. You want to change the subject because you don't want to take accountability or feel like you are somehow evil because you've been taught throughout time that you're the discoverers, you're the saints, you're the saviors, you're everything good. So guys, I'm not supporting illegal immigration or people coming in countries illegally, but the master planner, the big time master planner, is a pumped person. That's their specialty. So them talking about these aliens have to leave our country, just like they are trying to question Native Americans, that they need to prove that they belong to be on the lands that you came and invaded. How crazy, how gaslighting can someone be?
In my last video, I commented that I would not be surprised that the next thing he comes after is tribal treaties, and I stand corrected. Now the Trump administration is questioning Native American birthright citizenship in court. What does that mean? Quoting the 14th Amendment, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States or of the state they reside in. The key sentence, subject to jurisdiction thereof, where they are citing the Civil Rights Act of 1866. All persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power, excluding Indians not taxed, are hereby declared to be citizens of the United States. Using Elk versus Wilkins, because members of Indian tribes owe immediate allegiance to their tribes, they are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are not constitutionally entitled to citizenship. So, according to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that would mean that if we were to denounce our tribal affiliation, then we would be considered U.S. citizens by the government. And what happens if we theoretically denounce all of our tribal affiliation? There would be no tribes to be recognized. Therefore, treaties would be void, and he could get his hands on tribal protected lands. I will never denounce my tribal affiliation. That is nuts. Let me know what you guys think.
Breaking news. The Trump administration questions Native Americans' birthright citizenship in court. The Trump administration argued in court to limit birthright citizenship for certain groups of people here in the United States. Part of their argument involved questioning whether Native Americans, who are citizens of their own tribal nations, qualified for U.S. citizenship under the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, which was ratified in 1868, states that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are United States citizens. This basically means that anyone born on U.S. soil automatically is a United States citizen. However, the Trump administration is focused on one phrase of the 14th Amendment, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And they argue that not everyone born in the United States qualifies as subjects to the jurisdiction of the United States. The Justice Department cited the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which was ratified 2 years prior to the 14th Amendment, and is one of the earliest laws that define citizenship. What's interesting about this is that it excludes two groups of people from citizenship. The first is subject to a foreign power and Indians not taxed. Historically, the United States government treated all Native Americans as belonging to separate nations and not to the United States. And that all changed in 1924 with the passage of the Indian Citizenship Act, which granted all Native Americans in the United States citizenship. The Trump administration is arguing that the 14th Amendment should still exclude Native Americans because we are still subjects to a foreign power, which is our tribal nations, and they are citing a Supreme Court case that was decided in 1884 that stated that Native Americans are not U.S. citizens unless they denounce their allegiance to their tribes. This is very controversial because the United States government and tribal nations have a long-standing agreement stating that Native Americans can have dual citizenship with the United States government and with our tribes. And the arguments that the Trump administration is trying to make will undermine all of this and throw away hundreds of years of treaties and negotiations that allow us to have our tribal sovereignty today. In addition to that, the 1884 Supreme Court case that decided that Native Americans are not U.S. citizens unless they renounce their tribal allegiance was basically deemed useless after the passage of the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924.
Audacity is something that palmed people put onto another level. Like the palmed people came to the lands of America, found Native Americans, they were welcomed, and in most cases they came by force, but they were accepted. But they've reached a time where they've like really settled in, they've relaxed, and they've reached a point really when they have the audacity, the strength, the power to be like, you know what, wait a minute. Okay, you might have accepted us in the history, but at this point in time, you guys need to prove that you're actually U.S. citizens. Like, we need documents. You guys, like, you need to prove to us, like, you belong. Because this thing of, you know, being born in America and you have, like, your tribes and then, like, you're part of America, you need to cut it out. Trust us and prove to us that you belong to be on these lands, that you gifted us in history. Make it make sense. Make it makes sense. That is the worst. Like, that's why I say these people are so delusional that they want us to forget our history, but when it comes to their history, they kind of pretend that they were saints. They were the ones that did the most in invading other people's lands. I mean, look into South Africa, guys. Look into South Africa. Even today, like I talked about how they signed a bill of land expropriation where you need to like give documents to prove that you acquired that land well for you to keep it. And why people were shaking in South Africa. They are shaking. They don't want to leave South Africa. They don't want to leave places. But they talk about how illegal people are a problem on the lands that they came and invaded in their history, lands that they came and stole. Make it make sense. And what made me laugh in the conversations that this man was having is the white man kept quiet when he was being told the truth of, well, maybe the Native Americans could not have accepted you on these lands. He lost words. He couldn't say anything. And this is what they are good at. They are good at making other people look into past and take accountability, but when it comes to them, it's a no-go. It's not a good idea. They don't accept it. They try to gaslight the situation. But yeah, guys, that is it for me in the video. Let me know what you think about it. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, I like hearing your opinions on these topics, and if you really like these topics, thanks for the super chats. I really appreciate them. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.